Hey guys, we are back in the workshop and today I've got another one-day build video for you and we are going to make a tactical knife. But before we are going to start with the project, we're gonna have to immerse ourselves into the project. So, alright, so now we are pretty much tactical. We have our tactical gear on because we want to make a tactical knife. We have to feel tactical, we have to be tactical, and we have to be really cool and operating. So let's get started with that knife. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the design and then we can start. So the design is right here and we've got a kind of tanto-ish shape style. You may know that style from the not the Indominator, I'm sorry guys, from the Jumper, which is kind of the same blade shape, just a little bit shorter, and also that handle scales or the handle size is the Indominator, and I think they're pretty fitting. And I wanted to try that knife design out because a lot of people like the Jumper in the tanto style, but some countries they don't allow that ring to carry, or some guys don't want to carry a ring knife. So that's why I want to do a version without the ring. So let's get started. So we are going to make the knife out of 01 tool steel because this is going to be a prototype for me. Like 01 tool steel is not a bad steel, but most of my knives I make out of SB1, and because it is a one-day build video, we can make that all happening in one day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and I'm just going to cut that knife out. So now we have the template and I can now just trace it with my Sharpie onto the steel. Now if you want to, like if I'm normally doing more of these knives, I'm getting them water jet cut out, but due to that it's a new design and we don't have the time for the water jet now, but it is more productive if you are going to make it out of water jet. But if you're just building like one knife, it's not that big of a deal to just cut it out by hand. Alright guys, so the knife is now profiled and everything is in place where we need it to be. The holes are done and I've also drawn up a center line onto the knife. And now we can do the pre-heat treatment grind and then we can step to the heat treatment. The knife is now hardened and also tempered, And now we have to finalize the grind, and I'm going to do that on my belt grinder. And of course, we are going to use fresh belts because we don't want to ruin our temper on this knife. So let's get grinding. So my camera mic just died on me, so you have to bear with me. Now we just have to finalize the grind, and after the grind is done, I'm then going to measure out the scales on the G10, and then I'm just going to quickly cut them on my metal bandsaw. I think metal bandsaws are much better than normal wood saws because G10 just wrecks every wooden bandsaw blade. And then I'm just going to drill the holes and roughly profile my G10 scales to the shape that I want to have them, so I can then rock pattern these scales. As you know me, I love rock patterns, so of course on this tactical knife we're going to rock pattern this knife. So when I'm done with the rough profiling of the handle scales, I'm then going to move to my horizontal grinder on a small contact wheel, and I'm going to grind in these rock pattern divots, whatever you want to call them. And here I've got a really cool camera angle for you. This was really hard to film because the camera was actually right in front of me and I had to look through the screen to see what I'm actually doing. But this is a really good way to show you how I hold these handle scales so they don't slip on the belt grinder, because you don't want to have that to happen. So when I'm done with the bulk of the material, I'm then going to attach the handle scales to the knife, and then I'm just going to grind in that rock pattern also on the steel, because I think it looks much nicer when the rock pattern is all over the knife and it's not just the handle scales. I think the handle scales and the steel comes really nice together when you have the rock pattern all over the place on the handle and on the steel. And now I'm just going to refine that finger notch for your finger. I'm going to leave that one smooth because your finger is in there and you don't want to have that too roughly, but I'm just going to knock off all the corners, all the edges, and then we're basically done, and you can see how the rock pattern moves all over the handle and the steel. The knife is now sandblasted as well, so we clean it up from all the oils, and I've also sandblasted these handle scales, which gives the G10 a really nice finish. Still gotta oil them up so they will have a really cool color in the end. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to degrease the knife so we don't have any fingerprints on, any oil stains left, and then we are going to really quickly blacken the knife so we have a really nice dark finish on this knife right here. Oh hey guys, so we are done with this tactical knife, and I'm even more tactical now because, well, we made a kind of tactical knife, and I'm pretty happy with this knife and how it turns out. I'm pretty well happy with the shape. The shape is already known to me with the handle, but the blade style is also pretty cool. The combination with the jumper and the endometer, I'm pretty happy with that. Ladies and gentlemen, and most certainly not forgotten by me, my Pakistani bladesmiths, you are fire. And guys, if you like that video, hit that subscribe button, also that like button, and just fire up that comment section, and we'll see us in the next part. Bro 6, going grinding. Bloop. Alright, let's do some cleanup, and then we can go straight home. Forgeworks to McDonald's. Do you hear me? I would like to have 1 Big Mac, 1 Coke, and 120 nuggets. That would be cool. It was a long shift. Alright, thank you. Ah! Fuck! Alright. How to become a tactical knife maker.